Recording. All right, welcome everyone. This is Filecoin Core Devs meeting number 41. This is meeting 2, today, Thursday, the 21st of April, 2022. On today's agenda, as always, we have brief updates from all of the implementation teams, as well as from the Filecoin Foundation on both FIPS and security. And today we have 2 discussion topics which we'll discuss in this meeting. The first one is updates the timeline for the network v16 upgrade. The second one is the index or advertisement protocol FIP that was just pushed into the repo. And Hong Hao, who's in the meeting with us, is going to be presenting that to us. The final discussion topic is the node state compaction proposal that the Fuhan team has put together. But I'd ask that you check the meeting notes and the recording from meeting 1 so you can see their proposal. I didn't get their slides in time to be able to present them to you on this call today. So since the Forest team is not able to join us, I can give their updates, same for Fuhan. So Forest is pretty heads down on FVM work too, especially the actors audit going on right now, but they have implemented on CalibNet through v15, I believe. And have updated REST actors through v6 and the network through v14. Security audits are ongoing. As mentioned, it's where they're spending most of their time at the moment. But they are working to prepare v15 for mainnet and calibration sync. And they also have a fantastic new wiki where they track all of their team updates in real time. So do recommend you taking a look at those. For the Fuhan team, they've continued to work on bug fixes and improvements, as well as shipping their CLI enhancements, and are currently working on implementing an advanced scheduler for the Fuhan miner. Any questions that you'd like me to relay to either the Forest or the Fuhan teams?
No. Yeah, no, thank you.
All right. Yep, and Andrew, you asked for the repo link. I'd be happy to give it to you. Are you looking for Forest?
I was looking for the link specifically to the FIP that just got posted, so everybody could look at that.
Yep. Let me pull it up for you and I can send it to you in advance. Jennifer, do you want to get us started with the Lotus team updates then?
The Lotus team, yes, our monthly feature release is still ongoing. This is again a very exciting one. We have post worker introduced in this release. We have a lot of scheduler enhancement for the seeding pipeline. Basically, if storage provider used to have a lot of resources, however, tasks are only assigned to one specific resource and the other continues to stay idle. And this one fixed that bug. For the post worker, we have both window post and winning post worker, and one SP can run multiple post workers as they needed. So that's all very exciting. Of course, Lotus team has been working with FVM team to make sure that we deliver FVM v1. At the moment, FIP31 is completely implemented, including the execution trace as well. Right now, the team is working on getting the gas remodeling, the parameters right now. We're expecting an answer by the end of week. The team is here in Amsterdam, working on that. And then we will be starting our FIP31, the task flow proposed in the FIP31. I will give a updated timeline later. But yeah, basically that's what's going on with Lotus.
Wonderful. Any questions for Jennifer?
Sorry, one more thing. Yes, just I want to give a shout out to Boost. Boost is the market v2 implementation that is supposed to be replacing or an alternative for the Lotus miner market or gold field market in general. Boost is launching alpha and testing with a couple of storage providers. We're seeing very promising result. It ships with a very nice UI. We did a AMA yesterday, and there's a recording on Filecoin YouTube. We will encourage everyone to check it out, especially storage provider who are making deals, giving the team any feedbacks in the Boost help channel on the Filecoin Slack. And if you guys have any more market related requests, you can still report it in Lotus. However, you will see it get and transfer to Boost channels, the Boost repository, because that's going to be our go-to market implementation.
Wonderful. And then Stephen, do you want to offer Venus's updates for the week?
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, Venus is going on the implementation, and mainly on two parts. One is about the Venus cluster. We actually combined about the seller and worker and some secret management together to come up with a component Venus cluster to make it much easier for our user to use Venus. So currently we have done the Venus cluster to support Slapdio, and the testing is ongoing, and we think that we will have this be deployed in some for some nodes perhaps next week. Another part is that Venus Market. So Venus Market is another very important component for the mining pool. Because the Venus Market, we are in the phase 2 to support multiple storage providers. So that which means that we could have this kind of service, or anyone can use Venus Market as a as a market service to serve multiple storage providers for their clients to save data. It's also ongoing. And we have some others in parallel. For example, we attended the FM early builder meeting, and the Venus team proposed one project is about the TinyGo SDK for FM. The team had kicked off this, and we start some verification code and started the work. It's moving on. And also we are supporting one important customer. The file drive, the file drive is doing real data storage service and retrieval service for their users, and now they are they want to support to have Venus, and especially to have Venus Market in their system to serve their customers and their storage providers. So we have some discussing with the file drive team and to say how to support and to integrate their upper layer service software. I was saying so far so good, and everything works well in testing. And I will think that the file job might be deployed this one early May. That is a very good milestone. For Venus, I would think. Especially for the real data storage. It's all.
It's a lot of work though. So thank you for the update. Any questions for Stephen? Also, Stephen, I'm finalizing the roadmap updates that we do on a quarterly basis, and I think FileDrive's project suite is going to be included also. So it'll be a nice little linkage for the work you're doing across the ecosystem too. So be on the lookout. So from the foundation, last week we accepted FIP 27, which is the deal proposal label type, which we're going to be implementing as part of the V16 upgrade. So it's great that this is squared away. And as we all know, the FIP authored by Stephen, FIP 29 for beneficiary address provisioning for storage providers is currently in last call through next Friday. We've had nothing but an overwhelming amount of support for this change, especially from storage providers. So I'll be going to all of the working group next weeks to triage and answer any questions they have specifically. But we expect this one to pass and hopefully be implemented in a very quickly upcoming network upgrade in the near future. Other than that, the list of open FIP drafts remains unchanged, except for this last one, which is the unnumbered FIP index or advertisement protocol, which again, Hong Hao will walk us through in just a moment. And otherwise, as before, we do have our weekly governance updates being pushed into the FIPS discussion forum. So you're always welcome to check even more detailed and updated information related to this list of where each FIP is in its process there on a weekly basis. On the security side, this morning we welcomed Parth more formally. Parth has joined the foundation. I think he started in early February, and he's currently working with Jennifer to triage some of the ongoing audit needs that we are currently covering since Dudley has left the foundation. Parth is also currently overseeing Filecoin's bug bounty program, not only reviewing and keeping track of bounties, but also making sure that rewards are paid. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to him on Filecoin Slack at any time as well. Any questions? All right. So then on our pre-scheduled updates for the network, Jennifer, do you want to walk us through sort of the latest thinking around the timeline?
Yes.
Okay.
So as we mentioned like multiple times, like FVM is like a huge protocol change like to the internet network, and we are taking like additional security consideration during all the implementation to make sure this landed in the network securely, and plus that we are doing like extensive like testing in these days. So that means like the timeline is not as certain as the past couple of network upgrades, because like the work item is like very well defined. But with FVM, it's like every time we implementing something, we're doing a lot of audit and testing, there's new area being discovered. And so like we hope the community and all the implementation team to thank you for your patience and like and being like responsive and flexible with the timeline we're having right now. We do commit to give the community the latest timeline as we can. So right now, FIP 27 is already like in last call, I believe, and it's like fully implemented and being tested, like the migration and everything is like all good. As we all know, FIP 30 is just like a conceptual like FIP, so there's no implementation work. FIP 31 implementation wise is done right now in the Lotus, one of the implementation right now. We are trying to figure out, because like the CID before it's just like a name string. However, now the actor CID is actually content addressing. So a lot of the things like kind of change, because before it's like, as long as you, for each system actor, you have a name string. Now, every time you deploy any change in an actor, the CID will change and it's not like, a static anymore. So we have some like implementation challenge and refactoring we have to do, so that all the actors are loaded in implementations like properly. That's why there are some like implementation delay there. Another reason why, as everyone knows, like spec actor is already in Go, Venus and Lotus are developed in Go. However, now the built-in actor is in Rust. So we kind of have to create a new wrapper so that like, the Go implementation can actually talk to the built-in actor. So we are working on that. And that work is also done, and we will be testing that. We are actually deploying that in Caterpillar Net, which is a test net for implementation team like today, and hopefully going through like a week to 2 weeks of like upgrades, like testing before we deploy to the community test net, which is Butterfly. I will get to that in a second. On FIP 32, as I mentioned earlier, Kuba, Ralph, Stab, and Steven are still working on like the final gas parameter. The implementation is already done. We are just trying to figure out the right parameters to make sure the network is like secure, the chain capacity, and like things are like can be like, safe in a sense. You can see more details in FIP 32, and the final parameters will be updated within a week before we can move it to last call. So that being said, on the summary, the test plan, we are still going to do that. However, we're gonna eliminate, because of all the testing we are doing during the implementation phase, we are eliminating one test phase. It's like, I believe it's test phase 4. So before we are saying for the butterfly, we are going to do 2 upgrades. One is the upgrade to FIP31, basically switch to FVM and make sure the built-in actor is properly used. Then we are going to do a reset and upgrade to network v16, which including both FIP31 and FIP32. We decided the intermediate, like the first upgrade, is unnecessary given all the testing we're doing on DevNet and the local net and the Caterpillar. So we are saying the butterfly net will just directly upgrade to v16 around May the 6th. So about like 2 weeks delay from the previous timeline. And then we will be testing there for a good like 2.5 weeks. So also like from like, 2 weeks ago until like the end of the May, we will be doing like a lot of external auditing and FEM bug bounty program. So in this testing period, we are hoping to address all the findings, especially the P0, P1 findings in the testing phase before deploying that to calibration. Assuming that like no major consensus breaking findings are being reported, we are planning to upgrade calibration to v16, network v16 on May the 26th. And then, as always, we will be testing that for like 3 weeks before the mainnet upgrade. That also gives like an implementation team to put out a release and giving their user time to upgrade. So right now we are looking at a mainnet upgrade time around like June 16th to June 20th, depending on, because like normally we do network upgrade on like Tuesdays, like early Tuesdays, so that like people have a week to respond in case anything happens. That's why 20th is possible. However, if based on our like testing flow, June 16th is the earliest we can do. But that's a Thursday, so we as core dev, we should discuss like, because like Thursday, if anything happens, we only have like 2 days. Otherwise, we're heading into weekend for people to dealing with like bugs and things. So it's less on deal, but like it's around like mid-June is what we are looking at for the mainnet upgrade so far. Again, I want to reiterate, we are gonna, like, all the implementers are gonna try really hard to commit to this timeline. However, this is one network upgrade we don't want to rush. So again, this timeline is still like subject to change based on the audit findings. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Jennifer. Go ahead, Stephen.
Okay, so yeah, as Jennifer mentioned, so it looks at the plan. Yeah, from Lotus' point of view, it's from this page, it's kind of 2 or 3 weeks. Delay based on this. Showed in the slide. Everything is okay. From Vela's point of view, yes, because we are, and actually we use most of the code of the Rust-based actors and also the FM. We will use the same FM. For the Velas, it's kind of most work is about the integration and the testing, something like this. So it should be no problem, for Velas to catch up and to meet this timeline. I will say, it's the one thing I want to mention. And another one is that I said, okay, I like this plan. Actually, we have the network version 16. We only have the FM related, and we add one more, the FIP27. But I think this is a very small one, right? It's kind of okay. I would think we would not have any other changes. That is my expectation. Because I want to say that the next version is only about FM. No any other sense. To make it very pure. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. We won't change. The only thing tentative is the timeline. We will not accept any more FIPS for this upgrade.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. Okay.
And Jennifer, too, this morning, I let everyone know that there are changes and that it is still quite tentative and no one raised any concerns. The only thing they asked is that we do share updated thinking around the test plan and the actual dates, specifically around the butterfly net upgrade. So do you have any concerns with us sharing the information you just shared with all of us here in the Phil Implementers channel tomorrow morning?
Not at all. I'm actually gonna update the community forum network announcement as well. It's just I didn't get to it because all the traveling I'm doing. But yes, I will post that to both implementers and community tomorrow morning when I woke up.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much. That was the only ask from this morning.
So there's one thing I want to discuss here. So after the this version 16 and since our and our plan is to actually to support the user programmable actors, right? That will be after this we will have for example another network version to support fully user programmable actors. But I would think that before that, after the version 16, we might have another one, for example, version 17 to support some other FIPS. For example, because there are many other some FIPS. For example, the FIP 29 and some others annex proposed to support support some flexible markets and other things. That kind of change might be made before we really support the user programmable actors. So
I agree. I believe that we did have such a conversation in the past core dev call already. So we have FIP 29, we have basically the FIPS that to enable to make our system actor more flexible to support the user program actor for M2. So we should continue discussing that, of course. But one concern from the Lotus team is because the Lotus team is supporting the FBM team, deploying both M1 and M2 a lot. So if we do another network upgrade, that means Lotus had to allocate resources to support all the FIPS that all implementers decided to accept or finalize in the next network version, and that means there will be less resources going to the FVM in development. So for us, we are still trying to decide which one we should be prioritizing. After that, we can share and discuss with the rest of the implementation team to say what can we be commit to in the next quarter, basically.
Okay, sure. So and anyway, we should have some discussion between the M1 and M2, right? So because some critical things we might need to change. But some others maybe we can delay that after M2 implementation.
Once M1 shifts, we need to have yet another retro, as we always do. But I think this one needs to really focus on timelining and resource planning. So that when we begin to talk about, Jennifer's right, we'll have another upgrade in between the launch of M1 and M2, but we need to have a conversation as a group about expectations around the scale of that interim upgrade, as well as the projected timeline from the beginning. Since we've now pushed out the original plan for the non-programmable FVM to go live was March 31st. So we've obviously changed quite a bit from that original, and we want to be able to keep that in mind when we look at planning for the next one as well.
Okay. Yeah. Understood.
Yeah. Any other thoughts or questions or ideas? All right. Then we will hand it over to Hong Hao for the rest of the meeting to walk us through the advertisement protocol fit.
Okay, sounds good. I'm here with Andrew today too, and I walk through the Indexer project, and then we can do Q&A, and also Andrew, feel free to chime in to add more technical details too if I miss anything. First of all, to set the ground, like a high-level context is why we're doing Indexer is because Filecoin has a lot of content that's being stored, and we want to make them useful when people try to look for it. Ideally, they can just look up the SID and know where from SP where they can retrieve the data, which requires data content discovery, and Indexer is really a key to that. And today, like there's IPFS that use DHT for looking up the data, but Filecoin has a lot more large amount of data compared to that. And if we put all these SIDs into the DHT, it will blow over the DHT. And so what we do is we spin up the indexer node to store these kind of high volume indexes, and to support when customers try to retrieve the data, they can hit the indexer, which be able to look up like where's the content being stored, and be able to retrieve the data back. So it's a pretty crucial component that supports the retrieval for both Filecoin and in the future the interoperability between IPFS and Filecoin. So on the right-hand side is a diagram overall about how things works with the indexer and index provider. So today, like storage provider, they make the deal, and alongside with that storage provider market process, they also run the index provider process that can publish, which is like publish advertisement messages to the indexer node to let them know that the data is available. And it's published over the Gusset subsystem to announce those advertisement message. And the advertisement message contains the information of the SID, the multi-hash, and as well as the previous advertisements ID. And so that together they forms a chain, and the indexer is basically consuming this chain from the initial advertisement all the way to the latest one. And another thing to know is that this indexer also updates over GraphSync. So every 24 hours, it looks up the data to do the update. If multiple storage provider tries to have the same SID, then indexer will only look up from one of them, which saves the bandwidth as well. And after the data is being published, which there's two ways right now. Like one is through the advertisement, another one is through HTTP. And once the data lands on the indexer node, and when retrieval client trying to make the request the data, then it will look up the indexer node first to know that for this SID, where should I look up for the storage provider to get the data back, and then they'll actually make a query to the storage provider and retrieve the data back. So that's the overall like how indexer works and why do we need indexer. Specifically for this FIP, it's worth noting that it's still a draft in progress. We expect to finalize the details in the FIP next week. But specifically what we want to standardize as part of the standard is not about like how do we run indexer node, but more about how do we publish content to the indexer. And specifically those are one, advertisement message, like using the schema of advertisement and using the mechanism of advertisement message to publish the data, and then leveraging the Gusset sub mechanisms to announce these advertisement message. So those are the two things that we really want to standardize as part of this indexer effort. One more thing to know is indexer is currently live in production. We are with our PL's implementation, we are working with more partners to run multiple instances of indexers as well. It's live with Lotus 1.15.1, and we have currently indexed a little bit more than 2.5 billion indexes. And for more information about indexer itself, you can find it on sid.contact, and over there we periodically updates the latest, and you can also use that to look up the content as well, given look up where to find the content given the SID. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I don't know, Andrew is the expert here and the hero here for the project. And feel free to add anything as well if I miss any things that we should call out.
I think that was an excellent overview. And I just, as was stated earlier, the FIP is sort of a work in progress. So there are going to be some updates. So don't start coding off of it just yet. But yeah, we want to finalize that protocol and make it very clear to all implementers exactly what it allows them to do, what it doesn't allow them to do. I think also you'll see some changes in the very near future with the infrastructure. So if while the indexer is live, we're constantly having to expand our infrastructure as it's growing greatly in popularity. So we're doing some moving around of the where actual nodes are being hosted from at this point. But otherwise, yes, it is live. You can use it. You can index content. You can see where that content is residing.
Thank you. I do have like one question, or like not really question, or like comment. So like Lotus is like, you know, lucky enough that we have the store the index team to integrate the index provider, which is the, you know, working with the storage providers market nodes to actually announcing the indexing to the indexer. We are lucky enough to have the team to integrate that into Lotus for us. Also like that lives in Boost, the other market implementation we have right now. My question to, I guess, like Andrew and Honghao is like, is this like FIP protocol standardized, like the indexing advice, like, you know, the advice constructor as well, so that like implementation like Venus Market and things, they can all be the index provider to the indexer network. So is that a part of the FIP? So like, you know, if people reading this FIP, they know how to integrate that to their like client implementation, basically.
Yeah, the FIP should cover two aspects of integration. One is as a library, and we want to document the actual protocol so that if they want to write their own implementation of that protocol, they can do so, but also to document where existing libraries and reference implementations are, so that they can also reuse the existing software as components in their own applications, libraries, etc. So we can also provide, well, FIP should also specify the software APIs that are available too, not just the protocol.
Nice.
Sorry, just to make sure I understand, we had this conversation this morning too. Because of those two separate components, though, you wouldn't require, there's no like protocol code base change. It's more of a standardization across implementations, correct? So,
correct.
That's right.
Yeah, great. Okay. Cool. So, I mean, in terms of the FIP process, then, as soon as you deem the current FIP draft complete, we can work together to put it in last call and hopefully get it accepted whenever. And we can make sure that implementers incorporate it. But yeah, of course, we won't need a network upgrade then.
Right. This just describes what the protocol is, and then that gives the implementers the option of writing their own implementation of that protocol in whatever language they want, or also using the software that we provide primarily in Go, but we may also have other implementations in other languages as well. So it's either, so it should, I think it should cover both, but the FIP, being a FIP, should primarily cover the protocol, what the protocol is on the wire. So anyway, any implementer can implement that.
Thanks. That's a great explanation.
Yeah, okay. This one is very great, I would think. Yeah, it's a very good start for the retrieval market. And I like this design. I had a quick review about the FIP. It's good. And I would like to update you about the Vedas team, and I think I missed this in the Vedas upgrade in your previous slide. We have started to study this, and we are working on to integrate the index provider with Vedas market. We're working on this, and we may have some questions. I will reach you about this. There might be some change actually based on currently the index provider software, is because we need to integrate them with the Venus market. But I would think that the most important part is about the protocol, as you mentioned, is about the communication, standardization between the components, right? The storage provider and the index node, and how the announcements, the message, protocols, all of this. I would think once all of this are well defined and accepted by the by the community, that will be very good, and we'll follow this and to put it in the implementations.
We'll work hard to get a finalized FIP with a correct and complete description of the protocol, and we understand the importance and how many people are going to be using that. So we'll try to get that completed as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just especially super excited for this to get this will be one of the first market related standard thing that's fit into since we launched mainnet. So thank you so much team for submitting the FIP and joining this call here.
Thanks for your support on the Lotus side as well to helping us rolling this out, Jennifer.
Yes, I second that. Thank you for all of the support you've given as we've both sides of this team have worked through the process of integrating this. And as always, if there are questions or concerns or even innovations, feel free to contact my team, Hong Hao, and then make sure that we can communicate or integrate whatever it is that is needed.
Steve, I put the channel that the team lives in Filecoin Slack in the Zoom chat. So if Venus have any questions, feel free to go ahead there and ask the team.
Sure, thanks.
Thanks for adding that, Jennifer. We'll add it to the notes too. All right. Then if there's no more questions on the indexer advertisement protocol, just a reminder that this morning, the Fuhan team also had a separate presentation on their node state compaction proposal. It was a pretty detailed description of what they're proposing. So I would recommend you take a look at the meeting notes when they're available early next week. But other than that, we are almost at time and at the end of our meeting. So thank you all for joining us today. And we will see you at a minimum in 2 weeks.
Thanks, Kaylin, for your organization.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew, and Hong Hong in particular.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, guys.